Call meeting to order. Please stand for pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilwoman Shockey.
Heavenly Father, we come to you with humble hearts, and we ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions that will affect our community. We ask you to bless and protect our employees, police officers, and first responders. And we thank you for the members of the military, both past and present, and we ask that you keep them safe. Lord, we pray that we will always be aware of your presence in everything that we do. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, everybody's here. Minutes.
Motion for the minutes. Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Abstain.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Bills are ours.
Motion for. Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Hourly workers' time report.
You have one.
Fireman's time.
Motion. Second.
Bennett,
Yes. I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. What is the 82 and a half hours on the one call?
where are you at?
82 and a half hours. Which call you want?
137.
Total time.
Call 130.
137 was a motor vehicle accident out on Portland. They took out a utility pole, and I was on vacation, but our trucks were out there, and our manpower was out there for an extended amount of time with the road closed.
I just was curious. Thank
Yep,
you.
yep.
I'll be bringing that up a little bit later too. About what happened.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Okay. Clerk, you're up.
I received an email today from Stark County Engineering. I will have to order one more load of salt. Told the village administrator, I haven't told Rick yet, we'll have to put it in and cover it up because we need to make our 8% quota of what we said in our contract. Today I completed the 2021 budget. Each of you have a copy of it for review. Go over it. If you think of things that you're going to question whether or not we've got money in or I've accounted for things that we know we're going to be working on, please feel free to ask me the next meeting or contact me at the office. There's one thing on the page where I talk about the detail of the loans. I don't have the amortization for the police vehicle. I know I've contacted the bank. I still haven't received it yet. Once again, I've received 2 phone calls about the Beach City garage sales. I don't know if any community's having them. I'm not aware of them.
First is happening in August.
Right. I've seen that one. The bar did.
Maybe there's a May.
Is it the 24th and 25th, John? I'd
Something
have
like
to
that,
look.
it's toward the end of August.
Yeah.
So that's something that you'll need to decide or think about so we can tell these callers. I have legislation to read. It's the third reading of ordinance number 20-08, an ordinance in the matter of fulfilling the requirements of the Ohio Senate Bill 310,
They need us.
the passage of legislation in order to receive and expend the federal funds under section 5001 of the Coronavirus Air Relief and Economic Stimulus Act. Be your third reading.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards, McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Sharp.
Yes.
And then the other thing I have is the first reading of ordinance 20-09. An ordinance accepting and approving the 2021 budget for the Village of Beach City, Ohio. And that's all I have right now.
Okay, any new visitors, any council complaints? You're up, Mr. Anderson, Chief Anderson.
All right, well, I think everything went over last week. I wasn't here, I was on vacation, so, I'll start at the top. Total calls year-to-date is 144, versus the same date as of last year, we ran 137. Our mutual aid summary, we give mutual aid to Brewster 3 times, we received it 5 times, and we received mutual aid from Wilmot 2 times. Also with that, the detailed report on the back that I've been giving you as to where we're going. So the first thing I'm gonna go back to is the FireCat hose testing. As I said in the paper I released last week, we did have some hose that failed, okay? If you guys remember, this was started back when Casey was even chief. We started replacing our fire hose. We replaced so much of it and we kind of quit because of money. Unfortunately, the fire hose was not tested because of the age of it. It's an automatic fail because it's prior to 1987, so they could not even test it. What we're gonna do to get us by for a little bit, we're gonna test that hose on our own. We put it back on the truck against our wishes. We gotta have hose on our truck, and that's what I told him. I'm sure the hose is good. This is just another one of them regulations where once it hits a certain age, they won't do nothing with it and they don't want you to use it, but I'm sure it's good. So throughout the course of the next few weeks or month, we're gonna test this 2.5-inch hose. Make sure it's good, make sure none of our guys are gonna be in any jeopardy, which I'm 100% certain they're not. And my suggestion, and I've already talked to Debbie and Mayor Hartman, we need to make sure that hose is replaced before FireCat comes back next year. The bulk of this hose is off of engine 131. Engine 131 does not run near as much as engine 132. So the other hose that failed is 200 foot, 1.5-inch hose. Now that we will have to probably get on quicker because that's taking it off of our truck. Some of that was on, I think 100 foot of that was on 132 and 100 foot was on 133, our tanker. And then we failed 100 foot of 4-inch that was failed because of leaks. The 4-inch I'm not going to replace. It was off of 131. It takes us down to, I think we're at 850 foot LDH on 131, which is sufficient. We got 1,000 foot on 32 and 850 on 31. If we can't reach it with that, then we got Brewster coming and we got Wilmot coming, and it ain't gonna matter anyway. So
Most of that hose that's failed is more age than anything else, is that what you're saying?
it is definitely age, yes. It is anything, NFPA requires anything that is prior to 1987 to be taken out of service. Most of this cloth hose, heck, we got cloth over there on the rack dating back to the 50s. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What do we do with all this hose after we're done with it?
What we will do with this hose when we're done with it, we'll cut the couplers off of it because some of it's brass, and we will scrap the hose. So if we go to replace this and you know somebody that needs a fire hose, it's not gonna be any good. It won't have any couplers on it, but yeah, it'll be taken out of service. So I know a lot of people ask around here once we scrap it. Some people with boats, they put it on boat docks. They do odds and ends stuff with it. We've had requests to have it before. And
So actually, they can never use it for the hose, because you're taking the couplings off.
yes, it'll never be a fire hose again. It'll be used for other stuff. If anything, some of it just goes in the dumpster and goes to landfill. So yeah, it'll be no good to us. I'm not asking tonight for any money for hose. We're gonna hang tight on that. Like I said, I'm gonna evaluate where we're at with our 1.5 inch, make sure we're not short. I don't think we're short enough to worry that much, but we might have to get that soon. What I would like tonight is I would like to get approval to send all 4 of our big trucks down to Advantech. I talked to Zach this morning from Advantech. He pulled the 2018 files. The reason we went with 18s, because if you remember, we decided last year we're only going to service the trucks every other year. Last year all we did was pump test. This year it's time to service. He said that with 18s prices, the labor is the same. They did not increase their labor. Parts may have went up. He said he don't know until he actually starts ordering as far as air filters, fuel filters, stuff like that. He said that we were in the mark of $5,000 to $6,000. We were at like $4,600, I think he said in 18. I would like to get that approval tonight. Now I will tell you there is certain minor issues with some of the trucks. I know the AC in 33, the tanker needs to be looked at. It is not working. There's a switch that activates our siren that I played heck with trying to get the Brewster the other day. It has to be replaced. So we're gonna have some little stuff on top of that. That's why I'm saying 5 to 6. I think the service alone with everything we can get by with 5, but I'm adding that extra 1,000 in there and hopefully that'll cover the miscellaneous repairs we need on the equipment. And while I'm asking for money, I'll go to this. I'd like to send Jesse Bryan. He's the last member we have that is not T&I trained. He's not fire trained. Dustin is in school right now with Erie Valley. Jesse could not make that class. He had vacation. I would like permission to send Jesse Bryan to Stark State Fire class. It'll be starting September 12th, $302.60. So the total I'm actually asking for tonight is $53,02.60, as you can see on the bottom there.
You don't want to ask for the extra 1,000?
What do you think, Deb? Should we go to 63? Let's do that then. Let's go 63,02.60, and then hopefully we meet our quota when we're done.
I'll make a motion for the 63,02.60.
I'll second.
Bennett? Yes. Thomas?
Yes.
Richards? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Chuck?
Yes.
So with what you just approved, that will get all of our trucks pump tested, that will service all of them, oil change, air filter, fuel filter, grease jobs. That will also service our generators that are on the truck. So this will knock everything out. Like I said, it's costly, that's why we're gonna go every other year. And unfortunately, we didn't do it last year, so this is the year that we're gonna have to get on
Do
it.
you
So
take one at a time down
we
and
will
bring it
take,
back? And
yes, we'll
the
take
other
one
down?
at a time. I'll probably start with, I would imagine probably start with engine 132 because I wanna get that siren switch fixed. He said they're about a week and a half to 2 weeks out on service right now. So I'm on vacation the first week of August. My goal is to try to go that week so I'm around so I can, and Jeff's already offered to help too. So we'll take an engine down, and when we go down to pick up the engine, we'll take, say, the tanker down with us so we still have an engine in town, and we'll just rotate through them that way. And hopefully usually they're done by the end of the day, pending they don't run into any problems. 33 might be a little longer because I don't know what's going on with the air, but it's got to be fixed. So that's all the money I need. I do want everybody to know we are totally on Mark's paging now. Our new pagers are in. I have one on my side. With that being said, if we have a fire call right now, you will not hear the fire siren. We have to get Staley's in here to put the extra pager that we got. It's over there. It's in. It's programmed. We got to get them in here to put it in the siren. As long as the South Fire Tower is not decommissioned, we can make sure Red Center tones us over UHF to activate the tornado siren. Once that changes, until we get the siren up to par with the new pager, we will have to manually activate it, but we will still be able to activate it. We just will not have any fire siren with calls. We still have a curfew, we still have a noon whistle. It all goes through the encoder over there at the station. So the only thing that's affecting as of right now is just for us for a fire call, which we knew it was going to be that way, and hopefully Staley's booked to the max with reprogramming radios. Once they're done, hopefully we can get them up here, get the siren going. It shouldn't take much. So, and they just did it for Wilmot, so they kind of know exactly what they're getting into. So hopefully it'll be quick. With that also being said, all our radios have been reprogrammed to the new Tusk County frequencies. You guys had approved that. That is all done. The radios are back in house. We did realize on the fire with Brewster the other day at the Wheeling, there were some programming errors with the new radios, the officer radios and the ones in the engine. They are actually going back down tomorrow to be fixed. And it was as simple as certain channels are supposed to be in zone 1, they weren't there. We had to actually go to zone 2 to get our MAC channels, which is a problem. It's not a problem, but it's more of a hassle when you're running around trying to get to a fire and everybody's trying to get on the right channel when they should just be able to flip. So it's being fixed tomorrow.
So
Dan's
actually
taking
with
care
all
of
the
it.
departments over there, everybody was able to talk to each other.
Absolutely. When we had 23 departments on scene of that fire, all 23 was able to communicate. We actually used what are called MAC channels. So fire operations was on MAC 5, and that was such a big operation, all water operations went on to MAC 4. So, and then we could scan between the two. So I could hear, we were on a fill site down by the marathon. Personally, I'll bet you we probably filled anywhere from 50 to 100 tankers. I'm not lying, we were busy all night long. So that was one heck of an incident. I don't even know what caused it. I haven't heard an official cause of it. I know we had a lot of agencies up there tied up and a lot of tired guys by the time we got home. So, but yeah, everybody could communicate, everything worked great, and we had from 3 different counties that are all on Marks, and everybody could talk, and we weren't able to do that up until we went to Marks.
Yeah, I never understood that place over there is a wooden floor.
Yeah, I don't know. We ended up on the fill site. We were the second engine in, and they knew they needed water, so they diverted us. We dropped our manpower at the gate and actually went back down to in front of Marathon and set up a fill site for them. So I don't know much about the actual fire. I was on the fill site all night. We did have guys up there, but yeah, we were busy. We kept 23 departments busy. There ain't no doubt about it. So I think that's all I got. Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up, and it's no, you look at me like I need money. Well, I told you I'm done with the money. I do that first. So you're all mad. We have officially registered through the Knox Box Company. Beach City Fire and Rescue now is on Knox. The main reason for that is the Dollar General that went in out here requested one. We were never registered with Knox. So what Knox is Knox is in essence, it's a lockbox that you put on the outside. We offer residential and we offer commercial. Now they're not personally through Beach City Fire. They are through the Knox Company. So if anybody's interested in getting these, it's a lockbox that goes on the outside of your property. Beach City has a key, and only that key will open that Knox box. So like if Wilmot has a Knox box, which they do, their keys don't open ours, our keys don't open theirs. Nobody can get into that Knox except for Beach City Fire. These keys will be secured. There's 2 of them. They will be secured. They will be monitored as to who uses them. And as of right now, we have 1 Knox coming, and that will be on the Dollar General. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I would like to talk to Mr. Elliott out here that's putting in the stuff on 93. I would like to try to convince him that we need a Knox box there. And the other big reason that I'm bringing this up is because our elderly, if they are interested in getting Knox boxes, this would eliminate a lot of problems for us. If they fall, can't come to the door, if they have a Knox box, we can open the door, open the Knox, get to their key, and open their residence. So
Could we get something in with the bills out to the residents so they can see that?
sure can. I can try to get information from Knox. I thought they were going to send brochures. I haven't seen them as of yet. But it would be very valuable, especially for us. I mean, because like I said, these things are secure. They're outside. You know, you don't have to hide them because nobody can get into them. They're locked up tight, and nobody will have an access key to them but us. We'll have 2 keys, and it'll open up every Knox. The way it works, you call Knox, you get a hold of Knox, and you tell them, hey, I'm in Beach City Fire and Rescue's jurisdiction. They'll say, okay, this is the products we offer, and then that box will be made to the specification of our key. So no matter where it's at, our key will open every single box.
Oh, is there a price for this thing, by the way?
Yes, there is, and I don't know what the price is. That's what I'm telling you. I do know the price for the Dollar General was in the several $100 range. I don't know if residential is cheaper. I don't know. You would have to get on Knox and look at it. Like I said, I'm not a salesman for Knox. I'm just doing this because it will help us in the long run. So the cost will be on the resident or the company. It won't be on us, and they would have to be willing to do it. But we do offer it. Up until just a few weeks ago, we
Well, we
didn't
don't
even
want to
offer
send
it.
that out to them then until you either tell them that they'd have to, it might cost them something.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's worth it though, because if you gotta kick down a door to go in and get somebody, they're gonna
Right.
pay that easy to have their door
Right. I
jamb
mean,
replaced.
we've been to houses where we've pried windows, we've busted windows to get access. So I mean, if you're looking at damage to a house, it's a lot cheaper. And like I said, I'm not a salesman for them. I'm not trying to persuade anybody. I'm just letting everybody know it's there.
Where are
it's
they
an
actually
option.
out of?
I don't know, they're out of state somewhere, I'm not sure where they're at, but almost every big agency, every big city's got Knox. Wilmot's got Knox, I don't believe Brewster has Knox, which surprised me, because they got a lot of.
Winesburg does. We got one at work.
Winesburg, yep. Yeah, so I mean, it's an excellent feature, it lets us get there, open one key, and we have access to the property, so. That's all I got.
Thank you. Well, since the police and village administrator's gone,
I think they just came back, they're out there.
Yeah, they're right walking out
While they're
here.
discussing
Well,
something.
You have any meetings?
well, we need a the buildings and utility committee, we need to have a meeting next week about the utilities. We have a problem, and we're gonna have to study on it. And I'll make sure I get you guys some things, but that would be Bailey and Mr. Thomas and Ms. Shaw. And you guys, let me know what day you want and what time, we can do that. Tuesday ahead of it,
Anytime you want.
yeah. You go anytime.
This is next week.
Yep.
I have testing on Tuesday and some medical treatments lined up for Thursday, so if we could avoid those 2 days, I would
That'd
appreciate
be
it.
great.
I can't do Monday, Wednesday, or
You said what? You can't
What day
do-
does that give us open?
Monday, Wednesday.
No,
Oh, you said you couldn't do it. Or was you joking?
good joke.
Yeah, Monday's fine with me. We'll do it on Monday.
After, what, 6 o'clock?
6 on Monday?
That okay, George?
All right.
That'd be what, the 27th, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Now, you guys want to discuss the garage sale? Like what date or whatever? Get that out of the ring.
I was trying to find Brewster. I know it's August, and I thought it was the 24th and 25th.
That's a Monday and Tuesday.
You don't think that?
You haven't read that yet.
21st and the 22nd, or the 28th and 29th. But you went earlier.
There's 19 pages on this darn thing. and I
Is this
usually
thing on?
mark it.
Third Friday and Saturdays, the 14th, the 15th, the 21st, the 22nd, and the 28th on the 29th.
Did you find anything in there?
Is that the day they have it?
No, that's the
day.
weekends
Oh,
in
okay.
August.
The last year we didn't do Sunday, we canceled.
Right, yeah.
What's those?
This is the main one here. That's the end
Is that the
of
garage sales?
Yeah,
It is in August?
we haven't
August the
decided yet.
14th and 15th.
That's
Is that when they're
Brewster?
doing
Yeah.
theirs?
So we want to do them the same time?
People will out.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine with me. So that'll be what, August 14th and 15th? All right. Yeah, that works, that way they can just trot on down.
Friday
here,
and
too.
Saturday, okay.
Thank you very much for that. We do need an executive session for possible purchase of property, possible pending, I don't know how that works.
This should be kept confidential.
Yeah, it's a purchase of land for public use. Now, I'm trying, somebody wants to make a motion.
Make a motion to have an executive session.
Second.
7:25.
Purchase of land.
Bennett? Thomas?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
McKinney? Bailey?
Yes.
And Shep?
Yeah.
Won't take long.
You need to hold the same. Garage sales.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
You turn it back on? Thanks. Matter of fact, you're up, sir.
All right.
Chief Dyke?
Okay, you guys should all have my monthly report buried there somewhere from a couple weeks ago, or last week, I left it there for you. Don't really have a whole lot going on. Keep busy, summer calls. We had one officer who had to get tested for COVID, came back negative. He was off on his scheduled shift, I went ahead and paid him for that shift because of the COVID. Other than that, the only other thing I need would be, I talked to Debbie, and I was gonna see if we can get the ARs approved as well as the body camera. So 2,000 for the ARs, I'm gonna go with 1,100 for the body camera, just in case it went up since last time I ordered them. And other than that,
That's it?
that's all I've got, so I've been asking for, tonight I'll ask for 3,100.
Yeah, we no longer get the people that shows what's left.
You get it.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of the month. If you wanted it every meeting, I can run it for every meeting.
No, I just
Okay.
didn't remember.
Yeah, that's one of the reports I do for the month with financials. Just in monthly fund report or something.
I know last meeting we talked about what you preferred, you were saying something about one AR.
Charge with 2 ARs.
Well, they,
If we could, that way we've got one, if one goes down, we've got one for each of our cars. So we don't have to keep transferring from car to car every shift.
they don't need you guys to have it in. That's the wish list, yeah.
You were actually asking more for the ARs, so you're asking less this time?
Two, we talked about just getting one, I think that was both of them.
$400 less.
First one. So Ben gets the quotes back from me.
2,000 should do it for us, if we need more, I can come back for more, but 2,000 should be.
We're waiting on a quote from Ohio Arm and Strasburg,
Oh.
which I should have gotten by now, but I haven't, so I gotta call that person. One about a week ago.
So the 31 would be for 2 ARs and a body cam?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
So how many body cams does that make it?
2?
And she said that just whoever's on duty needs a body cam.
Whoever's on body, yeah. Sometimes we have 2 officers out, that's.
Right, oh, no, I understand that, I'm just, that's why we
Those are gonna come
don't.
in, yeah, the one we have will come in definitely handy tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, we can't have it that way.
No, the one
The
we
one we
have,
currently
the one
have.
he's paid for itself tonight.
Yeah, we just had a call where it'll come in, because we get them both.
Where do you do your testing on the ARs? For sure.
There's multiple ranges we can go to, there's without popping it in the ranges yet, I don't wanna really, we've got a few places we can go to.
I'll make a motion for the 3,100 for the 2 ARs and the body cam.
And that's only, that's 2 body cams. in other words.
No, it's 1 body cam, which will give us 2,
Gives 2.
2 ARs.
Second?
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Shot?
Yes.
Thank you, and that should be all I need for now. I might have an executive for next council meeting, but nothing too exciting, so we'll pick up on it. Other than that, that's it.
You get something to look forward to.
Could I ask?
Yes.
I happen to see, they got some news reports on gadgets they're working on to try to help not use firearms or anything. Because somebody was, they were pursuing somebody on foot. That, it was a gadget kind of like your,
It was a net that wraps them around.
right.
That's been in testing for a few years now. There's so many tests and everything that they
I
got.
figured it was getting close because they were demonstrating it and kind of making it out.
There's several different tools we can use. We just gotta pick the best ones for what our guys can carry.
Okay.
So no, I've seen those there. I know they're still in testing on those.
Okay. Thank you.
I've never seen them.
It's like a Spider-Man net or something?
It
Like
literally
a
is like,
bolo thing where you throw it, it's got 2 weights on it, but it comes out of a gun. You know what I'm talking, like a bolo?
Mhm.
It's like that, but it gets shot out and it wraps around their legs and immobilizes.
yeah.
That would be fun.
All right. Mr. Lund.
Okay, John, I think you actually put this out there, but just to reiterate it, mosquito spraying will be tomorrow and will be at 8 PM, weather permitting. If it rains hard or does anything bad, they'll cancel it. Both of the TAP forms, which is the Targeted Acquisition Assistance Program through Stark Regional, those were actually submitted, and I got an email on Friday, I believe, from the lady in charge of them that says, we don't need to do anything else right now. When the next step happens, then she'll be contacting us. I'm going to have an additional one of those for another property here in town. It's actually 305 East Main, which is just down the hill, right across from Gordon's. I don't know if you guys know where it's at, the place where it's just completely dilapidated, so I just need to get 1 or 2 more things with that. Within the past 2 weeks, we had 2 pretty bad accidents. No real injury on the one, but the one was, I believe, Bill was talking briefly about it, that the fire department was out with our utility guys and Brewster utility guys. There was a subject that had left Baylor Beach intoxicated and came south and ended up on Portland. Instead of going around a turn, he went right into one of our poles and destroyed it. So I got the report number for that and the crash report from the sheriff's office, and I'm gonna be talking with our insurance agents about that. We also had another one on, I think early Wednesday morning of last week, where a semi-truck driver was trying to turn around in a parking lot down by 21 and 250 and thought he had enough clearance, but got too close and pulled one of our guy wires down, snapped the pole off of that, 2 transformers on it, and effectively knocked out power to our whole southern end of our distribution line. And we were out there for a little over 15 hours working on that.
Oh, God.
So you're looking at a considerable cost for hourly, and having Brewster also come down and help us in materials. So those are 2 that their insurance agent actually called me the morning after that happened. So I got to do some follow-up with those, but just want to let you know about those.
We should be able to recoup all of our losses for those 2, or
For one of them, the driver.
let me guess, the driver didn't have no insurance.
The second one did, that was driving the tractor
Yeah.
trailer. The one on Portland did not. So, but.
Probably why he took off.
He was highly intoxicated. Over 62, he wasn't young, so you figure he'd do better, but he didn't. And they rolled over, they hit the pole, and the accident rolled over. Talked with leak detection today. They'll be calling me tomorrow. They said they can actually fit us in here within the next week or 2, so they'll be here within the next week or 2, so we can kind of see where we're at on that. The last time they were here was 2018. There have been some things addressed since then, but I want to have them come back just to make sure we know where our leak detection is, and so we can actually save some on our water loss. Just keep an eye on that.
Was this for the tower? Because somebody called me the other day and I got a hold of their apartment about water leaking out of the tower.
That was actually, that's with our SCADA system, which is a whole other thing to where it wasn't regulating at the right level, where it was overfilled a little bit and then had some issues there, so. But they're gonna be primarily coming through, and I can have them look at our tower as well, but they're primarily distribution system checking, hydrants, checking where they can find leaks. And they were actually, when I was working with the city of Philly, they worked there for 10 years, I know who they are, so they can pinpoint a leak within 2 feet. So-
Would this thing down here at the bridge be overfilling the tank? That's what
No.
you're saying? Because that's where it regulates.
Yeah, it's not through there, it's actually in the software. That's working perfectly fine, it's the software communicating with it that we're trying to hammer out, and that's kind of a little bit of trying to get it figured out, so. That's all that was, but we shouldn't have an issue with it. There's a couple different things we click and check. One's a pressure regulator up there to know where you're at on your levels, so we should be good with that. That should only be a one-time thing, I don't want it to happen again, but I think we've addressed that. I also spoke with Ohio Cat. They're gonna be sending me more information tomorrow. I spoke with the gentleman on Friday and also today. Looking at our backhoe issue, we also need to get the radiator re-cored because they don't make the part anymore. But the turnaround time for that is about a week, and I can put it off for a while. I don't like to put it off for too long, but until I can speak with them, and I'm going to probably be looking at a lease. And they work with Brewster, they work with North Canton, Canton, and Stark County. It's something that we would have actually a brand new backhoe, and it'll be leased to buy during that time of lease. I haven't seen all the conditions yet, but that being said, it'll be better than purchasing something outright or used.
Do they have a deal with the state at all?
They do,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm waiting for. He was driving in his truck today, but he said he's gonna send me all the information. So, but with that being said, they're out of North Canton. If anything were to happen while it's under lease, we can get a replacement and not have to go out and look for one or have another municipality help us with that, so.
How
That's
much
still
is that radiator core thing gonna cost?
1,200 and change.
Are we better off repairing it or
don't.
leaving that thing sitting if we need one, renting one?
I'd say replacing it, getting it re-cored, because they don't make the part anymore. So if we were to go out and try to get a part, or just leave it as it is, leaving it as it is, we're just playing, when's it gonna break? So I don't like that, but until I can get a better definition on what the terms are for the lease.
We don't use that piece of equipment every day, do we?
Not every day, but it's probably the most used equipment per department, because electric uses it, water uses it, wastewater, street, cemetery, they dig with that. Anytime we have to dig, we gotta dig it. Anytime we fill salt, we use that. So it's probably the most used piece of equipment overall, other than just our day-to-day vehicles, I would say. So it's something that, excuse me, throat's dry. Something now with Ohio Cat, and they do have the municipal leasing thing, to where at the end of your lease, you have the opportunity to buy the thing for $1, which
He
is.
wants to keep that, so it'd be better
Yeah, we can
put the
keep
right
that.
radiator in.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
to say with the one we have now, we're just gonna get rid of it. We can always keep it or fill with it, do whatever, to where we always have something as kind of a backup, because right now we don't have a backup. And it's from 1982, so it's older than me. So it's worth looking into, so I'll know more about that tomorrow. The biggest thing though, I got contacted by the municipal road fund for what I applied for, I think back in, was that January, John? You did that? January, February.
In the winter.
When I was talking with their, they had Jeff Dodson's, I think his name, I think he's like their chief engineer. He had indicated that only one of the proposals that we submitted were approved, but I actually got the documentation, I believe last week, that both were approved. The first one is for $93,635, and that'll be paving from the bank up to 93. The second one that got approved is gonna go from 93 down to the railroad tracks on Fifth. So those two have been approved. I've talked with our engineers. We'll be looking to probably bid that sometime in October, whenever paving ends, because if you would try to bid it right now, I don't even know that they would entertain it, because they're so busy, all these companies. So, and you would get a better price while it's over there, because they'll start to fill up for 2021. So we have $153,060 from Municipal Road Fund.
When they bid that out, do they also build out the yellow line?
Oh, yeah, everything's involved, it's
Okay.
already, yeah, we've already got all that. Everything's included for what we submitted for the project, so that goes from raising the manholes up to grade, raising the water, everything up to grade, so you don't have to sit there and dig down to
We don't have
one.
to come up with no additional money.
No, it's zero. Village doesn't have to pay a dime for that, it's $153,000 that Municipal Road Fund gave us, so. So that'll be sometime here in the spring, but we'll be bidding that in October.
Now, the second thing's up here. What's the one from the bridge up to the bank?
That's what I'm applying for.
Next year?
That's
For
next
2021,
year.
so, and that's already, I already scanned everything, and that's with our engineers right now, so I'll know more about that probably later in 2021, I'd probably say February, I'd know more about that. So, but that deadline for that's like October, so, but we want to get that in, but, so that's that, but we're gonna be able to pay from the bank pretty much up to the railroad tires.
Have you made any of the meetings, Mayor, up at regional planning? That's where I always got all the money at, so that's the reason I was wondering.
Well, one of our, aren't you a member of that? You're on their council then? Yeah, Rod's on it.
Okay.
Yeah. We have representation.
That's what it takes to get anything up there.
Oh, yeah, well, we also know, we got a letter today from the community, what's that called? Yeah, the CBG, whatever, yeah, the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant. So we'll start again next year, for next 3 years, so that should, we might be able to get something off of them too, so we're gonna keep clawing at them whenever we can. Thank you, Greg, and Mr. Babbitt, what do you got for us?
The only thing I'd say in line with what Greg had said with regard to those two parcels, I was at the Stark County Land Banks meeting this morning on another matter, and the board did vote to approve both of those applications. So that was the next step. Now it's through that, and it'll go through the procedural aspect of order provision.
And that's another thing I should have brought up. That won't happen anytime soon, because in order for us to do that, I believe Susan, I can't remember her name, but she was telling me, she said it's a process. It's probably gonna take 7 to 10 months, maybe a little bit longer, depending on what whole COVID-19 thing is. But
Yeah.
you gotta go through a bunch of steps with it, but it's worth starting.
If we got that down there, we'd have to pay to tear that building down, wouldn't we?
Yeah, there's a 50-50
It's a
match.
fit, yeah, so they would match 50% of it. So,
Like that did out here?
mm,
Okay.
Yeah, but COVID did throw,
Yeah.
I mean, for
Slowed
a
it
while, because the courts had stayed everything, any taking of property for delinquencies, delinquent taxes, or delinquent, like it's conventional foreclosure, it was all stayed. Just recently, they reopened it up for vacant property, like this type of, like the transfer that would take place here. So it's restarting now, but it's not going to be,
Not gonna be fast.
yeah, it's gonna take a while. There's a backlog too that's created when everything's on hold, so.
So that would be the one on Third Avenue Southeast too?
Yeah, and the one on Sixth. The two that I filed for were, it's the one on Third Avenue and the one on Sixth down here in the trailer park. And then the other one's gonna be, which I just need to get one or two more piece of documents, is gonna be down here on Third,
Okay.
or on Main, one on the hill there before you make it.
That almost passed?
That is all.
Okay, the only other thing I think we got is this thing about opening up the old village hall. We gotta have a couple, little discussion on what you guys wanna do. I'm gonna give you guys all a piece, is that anything you guys wanna do? Okay. So we can go through that. If there's anything,
Well, it seems like every day DeWine is throwing a couple more counties in that are going backwards, so
I know,
I don't really see the point of going forward at this point. That's my opinion anyway.
just leave it.
And then we have to go backwards again because, I mean, they're, every day something else is, going backwards and who knows where this is really gonna go. Is it caused any problems having it?
Oh, no, it's not that I know of, anyway, I mean, no.
No,
Do you guys feel better having it the way it is?
yes.
Then there's your answer, I would say.
Just leave it the way it is.
Make a motion to keep it the same it is for
There you go,
the time being.
until, yeah, until this.
I would rather we overprotect our
You're
employees
probably
than
right,
underprotect them.
Let's make it to the end of August.
Right, yeah.
31st. How's that?
The last governor's or director of health's order for the state, whereas before they were extending it, I mean, sometimes for like 5 days, there was another one that was a month. This one is now in effect until the order declaring the public health emergency expires.
Oh.
So everything's
Okay.
just, as long as there's a public health emergency, then these orders are in place unless they're otherwise modified. So if you're considering a deadline, I know I've had other people that are in that situation, and rather than changing and changing and changing, they just follow it.
Is that what they said at the state?
The State Department of Health, whereas, like I said before, they were extending it by date, the last one that came out just extended it indefinitely until the emergency, public health emergency expires.
I'll amend that motion to go along with what the recommendations for the state health agencies, that it stays in until we have been released.
Okay.
That sounds good to me. That's all I got.
Wait a
Anybody?
minute, I
Oh,
have a motion
oh,
by
I'm sorry.
McKinney.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
And Schott.
Abstain.
Okay. We have anything else? Yeah.
I was down at the recycle point and, down at the big garage down on the bottom. I noticed there's a big hole up there, top roof. Looks
Like a window or-
Skylights or windows are broken.
We probably have material, we can go up there and just get one of the bucket trucks and put something on it.
Being so dry, you don't need it, but pretty soon it's gonna change.
Just wait, it's Ohio, the weather changes about every day.
Yeah.
I'm assuming somebody got the paperwork that we didn't get this way.
Oh, yeah, this must have went to, this might have been, yeah, that was about the fund, yeah. This is the one we already got. Yeah, the money we already got, yeah.
They must not be gonna do a
July
Well, it was
9th,
addressed to
yeah.
me, but there was no paperwork in it, so I went.
They never called.
That was probably just the cover letter saying that
There was
we
never
were
any
awarded.
plan.
That's what Greg referenced for
Maybe
twenty
they did what I
twenty-one.
told them
Yeah,
to.
is that the
check.
2021? Is that- okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's,
That's already been given to our engineers, so they must have just gave you that to tell you, hey, this is available for funding again for next fiscal year.
okay. All right, there you go. All right, that's it. All right.